Hello, this is Read, Rant, Repeat, the show where we meet to discuss, dissect, and theorize about the current reads of the Bookmark Besties Book Club. I'm your host, Megan, and for this week's book club meeting, my co-host Arian and I are discussing chapters 16 through 23 of The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. If you're not up to speed yet, to avoid spoilers, check out our recent episodes to read along and join the discussion. We also talk about some of our favorite books with steamy hot spring scenes in them, and our final theories of how this book is going to end. So let's get into it. Welcome to the club. I know that I'm sure that you have, and this is not a new thing, so don't laugh at me. But I just got sent my first ARC that I've ever signed up for. Have you
Really?
done those before? Yeah. It's by Riley Knight, and I've never read any of her stuff before. I don't know if this is her debut album, but debut album. Anyways, it's called Sage of Hope and Ruin. And it's a romantic fantasy. So I was like, I saw it scrolling through TikTok and I was like, sure, I'll sign up for it. And they just sent it out yesterday. So now I gotta find time to read it.
Nice. I want to sign up for.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if you'd ever done it before. I definitely hadn't, but they accepted me. I don't know how, like, I'm sure if it's a bigger author, it's probably harder to get in. But yeah, if I see another one, like I'll send it to you. Maybe we can get on the same arcs.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just finished chapters 16 through 23 of Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Very excited to talk about this section of the book. But before we get into that, wanted to ask what kind of fun fall activities have you been up to lately, Arian?
So the few things I've done is we have what's called Wilson's Orchard, and they have like all your typical hayrack rides, scary corn mazes, a blacklight corn maze thing,
Ooh.
and apple picking, but they also have like where you can rent, like they give you a mason jar and you rent clippers, and they have like a whole field of flowers that you can just go pick from. And so that's what I went in and
Ooh.
did.
Did did you make like a big bouquet?
Yeah, I have two little ones and they're really cute. They're like flowers I've
Oh.
never even seen before. I'm like, oh, these are beautiful.
Oh, I love
So,
that. It always feels nice.
what
I
about
never have fresh flowers in my house, but it always feels
me
nice when
neither?
you do, and it just feels like you feel so put together when you got flowers.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, we also went to a local orchard recently and we got some pumpkins and we didn't do the flowers, but they do have like the same flower picking type of thing. I think mostly just sunflowers there. I don't know if they have different kinds, but and then we bought some pumpkins and we just carved some the other day and Rainey got to paint them. It was really cute and then roasted the seeds and that's always a hit every year. I just
Oh,
love
roasted
fall. It's
pumpkin
my
seeds are the
favorite.
best.
Yeah, they're so good. I'm such a basic little bitch when it comes to fall activities,
I'm
but
here for
I'm here for
that.
it. I got my Rainy loved this shirt, so I had to put it on. My spooky vibes.
Oh, I'm wearing a capybara t-shirt that looks like a
Oh, very
Metallica
on brand.
t-shirt,
I
but
love it.
it's capybaras.
I love it. That's
Very
so
fun.
cute. Well, good. I'm glad we're enjoying the fall because it's not quite cool enough, but needs to hurry up. Okay, so for just for fun, for shits and giggles this episode, I wanted to ask you a couple questions, a sort of a day in the life segment with our favorite character from this book so far, the Bat-like Gargoyle. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your day in the life, and you get to pretend that you're a gargoyle from The Night and the Moth. So, okay. So first and foremost, so we're going to go through like this is your typical day. So starting at the top, how do you start your day? Like, what's your morning routine?
I feel like because they live at the cathedral, I feel like there's lots of like pigeons and birds and stuff, and I feel like he would start his day off like wreaking havoc on them. Just like hating them, chasing them. That's how he'd start his morning.
Yeah, that feels on brand. Do you think he ever catches any?
Yeah.
What would he do with a bird if
I'm
he
not
caught
I
it?
don't feel like he would I don't feel like he'd hurt them, but he'd definitely like talk to them. Just be like, "You can't sit here.
Talk
You
to
shit
them,
all over everything."
scold them, yep.
Yeah.
He's like he's like the nursemaid of the cathedral. But
Hmm.
I love his tendency towards violence too. Like, I was just, like, flipping back into, like, previous sections while I was reading it this week, and I was like, I forgot his little quips are very violent. And I love it. It's so great. Okay, after you're done terrorizing the pigeons, what do you eat for breakfast?
I'm not sure what gargoyles, limestone, I don't know what they're made out of. They're made of stone, but I'm not sure what they
Mm,
would eat. But I feel like because he's around six a lot and she always has the chisel, I feel like he would eat like the stone flakes that come from her chiseling away. That's what he would eat.
I
Just
just
like
picture
little
him,
snack.
like, licking the rocks
Eh,
after her.
this one's great. You should cut up this one next.
That's perfect, actually. Okay, what's the soundtrack for today? What are you listening to?
Stone Temple Pilots. Anything of them.
That's great. Very good. Okay, so what's your workout?
I already had my workout this morning when I was chasing the pigeons around. That's what it was.
Nothing extra. He wouldn't do anything extra, would he?
No.
Anything but flying, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then who did you meet for coffee and what did you order?
I would probably order, hmm, it would probably just be something with like mud or something if he actually had to order a drink. But I also feel like I would just keep talking and like saying weird things and then never order anything. Like the person who's taking my order would just be like, okay, well,
Oh my
I'm
god,
not giving
yeah.
you
They would
anything.
be they'd be that customer at the in the line that just doesn't shut up. The barista's like, "Can
Eh?
you can pick up your order at the end."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
I think he would also meet if he could. I think if he could have coffee with someone, it would either be six or it would be like one of the previous diviners.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask, like,
Sad.
who is it that he'd go out with? Would it be
Whoever
Bartholomew?
Bartholomew is. Yeah, whoever that is.
Okay. What are the 3 most recent Google searches in your search history?
How to get rid of bird. Why are birds annoying? What else? One more.
Where's Bartholomew?
Where did all, yeah, where's Bartholomew? Where'd all the diviners go?
Oh, it's so funny,
So
but it's so
sad.
sad.
It is.
Okay, so you've had a full day of licking rocks, chasing birds, and talking your barista's ear off. So, what's your bedtime routine? How do you wind down for the day?
I feel like I just walk around grumbling through the halls, like just that, like, maybe some of them are in the like some of the diviners are just in the cathedral going about their business and they just hear this bat like gargoyle just like talking to themselves, being like, oh, they didn't get their job done today. Oh, look at this mess. I'm gonna have to clean that up tomorrow. That's what I feel like
And that's
that's
cathartic for
how you'd
him.
wind down. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Do you think he so they said that like it's like throwing a blanket on a bird cage. You like throw a blanket over his head and it like makes him fall asleep. Do you think he like does that thing where he turns in circles and like kneads on his bed before he falls asleep like a dog?
Didn't he like when they were meeting with King Benji, didn't he like take the blanket, like wrap it all around himself and then like immediately pass out?
Yeah. I wish it was that easy.
I know, same. I gotta get 2 gummies of melatonin and
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you, Gargoyle, for taking us through. Thanks for playing along. That
you're
was
welcome,
cute.
Bartholomew.
Okay, so let's go through the reading. We read chapters 16 through 23, and let's see what we learned. So this was the big meeting with the ardent oarsmen this time around. So the start of this one, they are meeting with the people of the Fervent Peaks, which is where we find the ardent oarsmen and the shale mountains. They're going through the king has a, I guess, ritual in each of these towns. And so we find out they're kind of using that as a distraction while they search for the omens. So they've just gotten to the village, and Benji goes through the king's ceremony, and then they go off and try to search for the ardent oarsman. They make their offering of spring water and find him and his like sprite. I kind of pictured him as like lizards almost.
Yeah, like
Um
weird lizard creatures.
like yeah.
I was imagining from like Avatar The Last Airbender. You know that one that like God, what's her
Oh,
Zuko's sister rides around on?
yeah, yeah.
Like those
And like
lizard
chomps
things.
on the
I think it's
rocks.
her. Yeah.
Does it chomp on rocks? I don't know, or did I just make that up? But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where they like walk around, or the one. What was that character's name who Zuko pays to like sniff out, and it's got like a
Oh, the other chick.
yeah,
Isn't it a girl? Yeah, yeah, and it's like a mold creature thingy
yeah, yep,
or
yep.
whatever. Yeah.
Something like that, with rocks for skin. But they find him with his little lizard creatures in a castle, like on top. And I don't know if this is how you pictured it too, but I pictured like so like a at the base of a waterfall in like the woods is where they're doing the ceremony. And then up the waterfall onto a plateau is a giant basin with a castle, and that's where this guy is living. And is that kind of how you pictured it, or is it a little different?
Yeah, and everything's like gray and dreary. And then when they're in the castle, there was just like hordes of treasure. And he's like, oh, I mean, like you have so long to just, and yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I just
So,
imagine.
so this is where I kind of was laughing because I'm like, nobody questioned the giant castle that's up on the plateau. Like,
Yeah,
is-
we
nobody
just never
wondered what
go up
that
there.
was. And so I'm sure that it's like, I'm sure that she had, when she wrote it, she imagined something differently. But that's just what I was thinking. I was like, there's just a giant castle at the top of this waterfall that nobody noticed. Okay, I'm following. But yeah, you had said in one of the last episodes was something about how like what are they doing with all this money? Like why do they need all this
Yeah.
money? And we kind of got that confirmation because she asks him, Six asks the oarsman, like, what are you gonna do with all of this? Or base something along those lines, right? And he was like, what do you mean? Just like watch it grow. What do you mean do with it? And that's so I feel like that's so topical to like, some things we experience in real life, right? Like she's seen people starving and like in the slums, and then here's this omen just sitting on a mountain of cash, and is like, what do you mean I'm just gonna watch it grow? Like I'm not gonna spend it, not gonna
That's,
use it.
and that's like obviously her hints of like seeing, I mean, she probably already knows they're not the best, but like, yeah, they're not even trying to help their people.
Yeah, it's very sad, and very sad that it's relatable. Okay, so what else? We meet him. He's creepy. He was very different than the scribe. Like, what were your thoughts in like comparing him to the scribe, who's the only other one we've seen so far, right?
He reminded me of like a mixture of Hades and like a stick bug. Like that's like the vibe that I got. Like Hades from Hercules.
Yeah, I could see that. A stick bug,
It's
that's
probably not
funny.
a very good description, but that's immediately what I thought. And I was like,
Well, and didn't it say like his skin was like rocky, scaly, like shale?
yeah.
That's where I was like, ew, like, ugh.
Like the
So,
what is it, grayscale from
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's kind of how I almost pictured it too. Just like it with, of course, then the stone eyeballs. So yeah, very different vibes than the harried scribe, but he won't answer Six's questions, but definitely admits to knowing more than he is letting on.
Like
Yeah. So then of course, they challenge him to his craft, and he agrees, with the exception that it has to be Six that fights him.
hmm
So then they go through a training sequence. We get a little bit of a training
love.
montage, like, yeah, like 2 days worth, but that's enough, right?
Yeah. She's already
Um,
strong, so
that's true. Yeah. And I do love that she's not this like gonna snap in half. What else did I made note of? Oh, I made note of he mentioned that the gargoyles are the ones that make the gold deliveries. I don't know if that means anything, but I thought it was interesting because the
Yeah.
gargoyles leave the it made me think of when the abbess said that the gargoyles would go out and she would send them out to look for the diviners that were missing. And so if the gargoyles were missing at the time that the diviners were going missing, most likely they
It,
were out making these deliveries, right?
yeah. Didn't I think it's weird, like we meet them. Did they really even mention like, oh, I already got a diviner? Is this my second one? Like so soon? But like you'd think
That's
that
what
they'd
he
say that.
said.
Oh,
It
maybe I'm
didn't
still
he say
stuck on
the
the Harry
oarsman said
scribe.
something like that? I
Did
think
he?
he did. He said something along the lines of like he was confused when she shows up at the door and he was like there's got to be a mistake. Like I've already as like confused as to why she was there. It was like he got I don't know if he explicitly said I already got one, but
And I wonder why they even need the diviners. Like if they can just drink the spring water and it gives them life, like what's the point of having it in their blood?
I think well,
Because
that's a good question. I think that it's so I wrote it down, a quote from the oarsman. He said starving things are loyal when fed, and then he laughed and said I would know. And so I think it's her way of keeping them like you only get a very diluted amount every 10 years as long as you do what you're told. But then
why
also she
couldn't you
needs
just,
someone to dream, right, in order to sell the illusion.
I guess.
Because otherwise it would be her, wouldn't
Hmm.
it? Like otherwise she would be I think it probably was the story was that there was a child and the child is the one that dreamed and this is a religion that she's making, right? So like if it's the child, the foundling child that's able to see the visions, then there has to be a foundling child to do that. Otherwise, people would be like, well, anybody can do it, right? So
Yeah.
it started with one, but then I think at the same time, she needed the ability to keep these omens in line, I guess. So make one for each of them and then use them to keep them in line by giving it like a diluted amount every 10 years.
Like when I think about it,
Not
it's
the most
like,
practical
and
way.
no, because like you could just just have them, divine, and then would like just send spring water to the others. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just weird.
Do you think at some point because they're in the waters drowning like every day, do you think at some point they would just die, like succumb to, I don't know, like or turn completely to stone? Because that's my suspicion about the abbess because she is covered head to toe and she's the one that's been in the most direct contact with the waters and has been doing it for the longest. And so my suspicion is
Yeah.
she is all more than just her eyes. It's like her skin and everything. I'm
And it's
suspicious that
turning them into gargoyles and then they lose their memory.
yeah, could be. Could be. That's my suspicion because the only people that have more constant direct contact with the spring water than the abbess are the diviners. And so
Yeah.
I wonder if like after 10 years they kind of expire. Like at that point, would they just like die on their own or turn to stone? And so she just instead of letting that happen, she just gets rid of them, uses their blood to satiate the omens, and then gets new diviners. Makes me wonder how long she would last, though.
Yeah. Hmm.
Much to think
All these
about.
questions. Yes.
So we get a hot training arc, which had turns out I forgot about this. One of my least favorite tropes, which is getting interrupted.
Yeah.
I
Like
forgot how much I hate that.
there's tension there and then why are you guys interrupting them? Just let them be. You're gonna make fun
Right?
of them and then
It threw me back to when I was reading Crescent City, and I think that's what I hated so much about it was a second or third book, or maybe it was both, I don't know. But it was like every time, and it was like 6 or 8 times that like any sort of thing would start between the two main characters, and they get interrupted. And I'm like, this is so annoying.
I hate that. You know what I also hate? I hate when they've like done their thing and then something terrible immediately happens. Like, I don't know, you find
Yeah.
you did that to me? How could you? We just spent so much good time together. And I'm like, they already went through their issues. Just let them wake peacefully, and then some trauma can happen later that day. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be
I
immediately
agree.
like, well, because it's like, they share in bliss and then something immediately like disrupts that, ruins it. So it's like, okay,
Yeah, it's
spoiled.
like an immediate betrayal type of thing. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
why?
Hate that. Yeah.
Couldn't it have happened like either right before so they didn't do it or like give it a week? Like,
Yeah, literally.
yeah, I agree. But yeah, so they have a really hot training arc and we're interrupted. And then I wrote, wait, this is from the training arc. I don't think you can see it, but it says Roderick choke me mendacious. I was like, okay. It's the scene where he like puts her arm across his neck and then like makes her push into him. I was like, okay, Mr. Choke
That's
Me.
what you like.
Noted. Oh my god. That was great. And then they get interrupted, which was annoying. And then I wrote, okay, even hotter spring scene. So the hot springs
Yes.
was great.
Love that for them. I love a
The
hot
burn
springs
is
moment.
yeah, a lot of books do
There's
that and it's great.
There, we should read sometime. Helen Scher, I think that's the name. She has like it's about like sirens, but like it's like a whole long series, and there's like a hot springs moment in there. I mean, it's a real slow burn. You would probably be like, when we get to the good spicy stuff, but it's actually I feel like trials are really overdone right now, but they do it well. 'Cause it's like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm getting off on a tangent, but like
No, go for it. 80% of the time that we do this is me running on a tangent, so you can have the floor and
okay,
go.
thank you. So there's sirens and like there's this one and she wears a gold circlet, which means like her ancestors, her family is like an enemy of the crown, like they're in prison. And so it like
Oh,
shows her as like so, pretty much like low man on the totem pole and like every so often people can compete in these trials to become the like queen or whatever, the queen siren. Like it's like a way of like you know, being
yeah.
like the strongest gets to be the ruler or whatever, or the most cunning or all that kind of jazz. And so like she does it and then there's additional I don't want to spoil it, but then there's additional trials and she
Okay.
like goes on a journey with some people and like they like music and stuff and so they like steal
Mm.
humans who are musicians and it's so super interesting. She's the one who does like Sword of Thasmar or whatever like that. You've
I don't know
probably
if I've seen
seen
that one.
her
What'd you say her name was? Helen?
Ashes Helen Scher, but
Okay.
like the Sirens one is like one that reread all the time because I don't know, it's just she just comes up with really interesting stories.
I feel like not enough there's not enough sirens as like the mythical creatures.
Mhm.
They're so intriguing and I think they should be done more. I
And
like
like
that
I feel like
though.
this is a I like the good trials and then also I like um I don't know, I just like the how the characters develop in it. But there's a hot spring
Yeah.
scene. So that's pretty much what I was trying to get at. There's a good hot spring scene.
Love. Yeah, I love it. Like it just is always you know that something's gonna go down in the hot springs every time they come up, and it's like the perfect setting because it's nice and relaxing, and it's like opens the door to
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stress relief, if you know what I mean.
Hint, hint.
Okay, so we've got a nice little slow burn going. If it goes any longer, I might lose it. But and then we get to they show up to compete with the ardent oarsmen and might I say called it. Okay, I don't want to skip the whole fight scene, but the diviners he confirms that the diviners are sent to the omens as blood sacrifices every 10 years, which is what I was like that was my prediction was what was happening.
Yeah.
So, but yes, she gets answers out of him and basically I think it was like, your average, he got cocky and didn't expect that she would be able to hold her own, and he paid for
Yeah.
it. So, but I thought it was good. It wasn't like over too soon, but definitely showed her strength. And then let's see. Oh yeah, but then she falls into the water, right? Cuz I mean, she got hurt pretty bad, falls into the water and then wakes up in the woods. The help me out. What am I trying to say?
Like the chime ones?
Yeah, 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 the chiming woods. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, it's something like I think so.
Okay.
Because they're off to the next place already, right?
Yes, yeah,
Or are
because
they
she
still
wakes
there?
up. No, she wakes up like she's got kind of like in and out after Rory saved her from the water. And then she was obviously wounded and wakes up and they're in Maud's home in the chiming wood at the next place. So, yeah, on to the next one. This is where they had defeated the forester, the faithful forester already, but they hadn't found
Y-
her chime.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then from there we do find the chime, right? That the people have it for some reason.
Which is weird, like that it was so easy for them, like it's been so easy for them to collect them. But I
Yeah.
guess maybe no one's tried if they're so like, in their face. It's like not
Yeah.
necessary for them to try, I guess.
Yeah. And maybe it's the case of nobody else has really even thought to look for them because they've been told their whole lives that they don't exist on the same plane as them, you know?
Yeah,
Do you think that's it? Why
maybe.
look for
Like, and
something
that's
that's
why
not
like
even around?
yeah, or like, maybe they just like, I don't know, if I guess I wonder how many people don't agree with the faith and the diviners and all of that. Because I feel like if more of them disagreed, there would be more people trying to find them to like be like, oh, this isn't real, you know.
Yeah, trying to
But
disprove it.
yeah,
That's true. Yeah, it seems to be pretty ingrained in all of their culture. So I'm sure that there's not very many people like Rory that don't believe. But also Rory has a very specific reason not to believe. Like he doesn't believe because he knew an omen. Like he was being raised,
yeah,
I guess, kind of not raised, but like he was living with one. So he knew that they were not real.
and
Um,
or like not good either.
Yeah. And then, yeah, King Castor seemed just Benji's grandfather seemed to be one of the few that was like on a quest for knowledge to figure out what was really going on. So yeah, there must
Yeah.
not be a very large group of people that are questioning the authority. Well, yeah, they went off to the foresters. My question was, so I wrote like before going into that chapter, I was like, will they find one of the diviners' bodies at the forester's home? Because
Oh,
the oarsmen had admitted to they had been shipping the diviners' bodies to them as part of their payment. And then I was like, well, didn't they say that they had killed her, but they couldn't find the chime? And so I was like, if they killed her before her shipment arrived, will they find her like a body of a diviner just chilling with a shipment of gold? But we haven't found where the forester lives. We've been to Maud's house and then the place in the woods where Benji's like ceremony was happening. And so we don't know where she was. So I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think we will because I think that area is done, right?
I think so.
Maybe. Oh, maybe not quite because they're so where we ended was right after like or kind of right in the middle of where everything went sideways with Benji's like king ceremony. So we find the chime because the elders of the chiming woods have it somehow. We don't know how they necessarily got it other than they say wait, we do know because they said they found it like in that clearing, didn't they? I swear that they said. Oh wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, 286. Helena stood next to Benji upon the dais, running her fingers over the faithful forester's chime, eyes rolling back in her head. It came from this glen, this chime, she called into the haze. A gift from the omens, just like the gold we found over the years. Oh, I missed that. Yes, a gift from the
So
forester, for whenever I strike the chime, I feel transported through time and space. So they don't know that it's her actual stone item, but they've also been receiving the gold that was meant for the
they not
forester.
when did they kill the forester? It's been a while, right?
Uh,
Or
I think so. The three of them though, because I mean, they haven't been at this too long, but Rory said that the forester was the first one that they killed, but they weren't able to find her chime, and then they went after this harried scribe, and that was where we found them.
so did the forester just not care to have it?
I don't know.
Hmm,
That'd be interesting. Do you think that the
interesting.
forester was like, because the oarsman, you know, his just choice was he was like, well, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to like pile it up in my castle. Do you think that her response was, well, I'm not going to use it, so I'm just going to leave it for my town?
Maybe. I could see that.
Yeah, maybe. And
Maybe she was a little bit more chill.
yeah, maybe didn't deserve to die. But yeah, so it seems like she left it as a gift for her people, and so when they found the chime in this glen, they also assumed it was a gift from her. So it's curious. I wonder how long they've had it. Because I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
she was like, maybe her response to this like forever life was she kind of just gave up. She didn't really like it. So maybe she was like,
Maybe that's why it was
uh,
so easy to kill her.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Maybe she just kind of had given up and like left the gold for her people, left the chime for her people. Like she didn't really care. And then they just killed her because she didn't put up a fight.
Or she's
That would
not
make sense
actually
because
dead, and they
true.
said that they killed her, and she's just like, I just want to disappear, and so just
That's
let me
true.
go.
I was just thinking because isn't her, they describe her as strong. Like that was her in the story, the faithful forester had strength. And so for them to be able to easily kill her kind of seems like not likely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if she was just like, yeah, like she had to have let them in some way or another, right?
Yeah, just be like,
Um,
honestly, I just care about these people.
which good for her.
So then it makes me wonder what happened to the diviner.
Right, yeah, 'cause I mean, in order for her to be able to stay living, she has to have the water, so I feel like she would have had to have consumed the diviner, but just maybe left the gold.
Or is she taking the diviner somewhere?
Or maybe she's, like, hiding
Like
them?
maybe yeah,
That's a
I
thought,
don't
I
know.
like that.
Like
Maybe
there I
the
mean they
forester is actually good, and
yeah.
we're gonna find out.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, if they each have their like, what's the opposite of what the Forester's chime can do? Is it illusion? Because maybe they thought that they killed her and really she made it seem like it and actually got away.
Yeah, that's a good question. Cause so so far, we've been told that the stone objects all have 2 abilities, a transportive ability and a destructive ability. And they said that the transportive ability of the chime so far is different. It doesn't move you physically, it moves you mentally.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen its destructive ability, right?
Yeah.
So there's a second ability for this chime that we haven't discovered yet. So maybe there is like something else. Yeah, because I mean, if
I don't know.
the
It's
transportive take on it is slightly different, then maybe the destructive take is also slightly different.
yeah. It just makes me wonder. Because I mean,
Yeah.
not saying that there's got to be like one good person, but it makes you wonder if there is like one, like maybe they had a change of heart or they're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to live forever.
Well, it's interesting because I would have thought, wait, we haven't met them yet, but the Heartsore Weaver, their descriptor was compassion. So if any of them,
Yeah.
I would have thought it'd be her, but we haven't. I mean, maybe it's also, we haven't gotten to that point yet. So, hmm, I like those theories. Good theories. So I kind of, we skipped to a little bit to where they're having Benji's like king ceremony, and we see the chime and it's being used with the idleweed to make people hallucinate and kind of like mentally skip around. But right before that, when Six wakes up in Maud's house, she goes searching, she finds the study that has Benji's notebook in it and goes snooping in there a bit.
Yeah.
It's revealed that King Castor wrote that there was no record of diviners after their service in his notebook, and then she was mad because Benji had told her that there was just no mention of diviners at all. So I wrote a question, and I'd love to hear what you think. So, do you think? Since Six is mad because Benji said that he wrote nothing about the diviners, come to find out that he had written about the diviners, but simply that there was no record of them. Do you think that if Benji had told her what he had actually written, do you think that she would have given up the search at that point? Do you think it I can
I
understand her
think
anger, but do you think it ultimately would have changed her mind?
I don't think so. I feel like she's the kind of person who needs to prove herself. That's the whole reason she was so like up the abyss's ass about being the best and like wanting that, but then when she lost them all, she turned against everything. She stood like wanting to, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
anyway, but like I think she still would have gone with them wanting answers because I don't think she could have let that what if go, you know? Like to
Mhm.
see if like even if there's no record of them, she'd probably still be like, "Well, I need answers. I need to figure out what happened. I need to know they're okay or what happened. I need to lay it to rest." I feel like she still would have gone.
Yeah. I no, I agree, and also because didn't they tell her that, like, "Oh, you don't no point in searching the orphanages because they're not gonna be there," but she still went and searched all 3 of them anyways. So,
Yes.
I think that yeah, I kinda I wrote that down because I was like I understood that she was kinda hurt because Benji had technically lied to her, but I was like, even if he had been honest with you, you would have still gone searching for them anyways. Like, I don't think it would have changed the outcome.
I think it just shows Benji's character though, like if I feel like that is a small like a big thing to lie about. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so after I found that out, I was like, I don't think I like Benji.
Yeah, I think that's true. I felt more just like I didn't feel like it was necessarily outright like manipulation. That's maybe not true. I felt like it was just a very like, yeah, he's a kid and he made a dumb decision that, like he said, he was like, they usually give me guidance and he was on his own. And so he made a dumb choice. I do think a little respect for the fact that he owned up for it right away. He was like, yeah, it was a dumb decision. I think he's just a stupid kid. Like, I don't know.
Or
Malicious is, I
is
think, the
he
word I was
wanting
looking for. I was like, I didn't think
or
it
is
was
he wanting
necessarily malicious, but,
or is he wanting you
or,
to think he's a dumb kid?
true. You think he's smarter than he's letting on?
I think he's smarter than he's letting on. It's always the people you least expect. And I feel like he's
That's
just been
true.
some goofy, like, I'm just, yeah, want to figure this all out.
Yeah. Isn't he like 19?
Yeah, I think so.
Even less than that, maybe? So you think that he's smarter than he's letting on? Do you think he's smarter than he's even letting Maud and Rory think he is?
I don't know because maybe Rory, I feel like he's also a dumb kid too. You know what I mean? And like might not make the best decisions thinking he knows what's best. But also he loves Maud. So like that's hard
Yeah.
because that's his I don't know.
I could definitely see like him putting on an act for everybody else. But I was like, I guess I kind of have a hard time thinking that he would also be hiding it from Rory and Maud. Like I feel like they would be in on it. So maybe he is. And I mean we do know he is kind of putting on an act for everybody else. But I think that if he's even like working behind the scenes from them,
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be a big surprise. Well, yeah, that's a interesting take. I like that. I mean, those types of twists where it's like, oh, the one you least expect would be an interesting take. But also, what would he
And it's
gain, do you
not
think?
always true, but yeah. I think he's just it just shows that he's willing to like lie to get what he wants.
Mm,
Even if this thing isn't that big of a deal, it's just like one small,
yeah. Well, he's definitely lost her trust, that's for sure.
yeah.
Okay. And then I wrote, okay, hold on. I think I remember what this was, but I just wrote page 276, screaming, crying, throwing up. And I'm pretty sure I remember what it was, but let me check. Yeah, yep. So it was the gargoyle. Was it nothing, that knock in the fervent peaks, Bartholomew? He came to our door and you disappeared for many hours. When you returned, you were wet and took off your tunic and threw blankets over yourself. I tried to sleep, but you were terribly annoying, breathing loudly, sighing, making little sounds, stirring in your bed. I was like, oh my God. I
Poor
was like,
gargoyle.
okay, we're just going to go ahead and say it. Anyways, I thought
But
that
good.
was
Now everyone knows, like, so they don't have to be shy anymore.
hilarious. And then the only other note that I had written down was Rory said specifically that the knighthood makes sure that the sprites are starving. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, why? Like, why is the knighthood instructed to make sure that the sprites are starving? Do you remember that?
That's weird. But yeah.
Okay, so we haven't said yet, but right at the end of the reading, everything went sideways because at the ceremony, the king ceremony where Benji's, doing the thing, everybody's smoking idleweed, everybody's high out of their minds. The elders are using the chimes, the actual chime to send everybody into hallucinations as part of the ceremony. At the same time, then all of these sprites that look like the trees in this birchwood forest attack and just start wrecking everyone's shit. And eats one of the elders whole, right? Just like swallows her. So they're attacking. The knights are fighting back. It's a bloodbath. But during that, Rory says he doesn't want to kill the sprite, but they have to get the chime. And she asks why he doesn't want to kill it. And he says they're starving. All the sprites are. The knighthood makes sure of it, even Maud. And so I was like, that's really interesting. Like, why are they instructed to make sure that the sprites are starving?
Yeah.
So, do you think we'll find out more about that? Or is that just going to be,
I don't know. I feel like we're not.
you don't
I
think
feel like
so?
it's gonna be book two before we get like some hardcore answers. Like I feel like little bits and pieces are gonna
Yeah.
keep given to us, but I feel like we're not gonna find like real big answers until the second book.
Mm, no, I
Yeah,
hate that. I hate the cliffhanger. When's the second
I
book supposed
know.
to come out?
Isn't it soon? I'm
I
pretty
hope
sure it's
so.
like at the end of October, beginning of November.
Oh, awesome. Did this book just come out? Yeah.
Is it?
Hang on.
Is it? If I'm wrong, I'm gonna be so sad.
Book two. Oh, there. When is it? When is the release date? Oh, September 2026.
It's gonna be a long time.
The
Oh
Knave
my
and the
God.
Moon. Yeah, so that won't be out for a bit. We'll have to do that one at that time. But yeah, I'd love some answers, but because clearly they've talked or they've hinted, I think quite a bit throughout this book that there's a lot of mistreatment of the sprites, and now we find out that it's by design, like they're specifically supposed to be. So I want to know more.
I know, me too. It's like, why? What does it have to do with all of this?
Yeah, I don't know. And I really love your theory that the limestone itself with the spring that comes out of it, it might itself be a sprite. Like,
I know, I wonder about that. Or like it's supposed to help feed them or like all of the gifts that or like the little trinkets are also associated like an item with something that the sprites feed on. You know what I mean? Like the
mm-hmm.
paper that the scribes use is like what the sprites are supposed to. So are they
Yep.
actually supposed to be the true like mystical beings of this place? But it's not good what these like limestone things are, and it's a way to like hinder like the natural beings. I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, no, I do. I think I agree. I think that it seems very clearly like this is human oppression over like the natural world. And yeah, I think that I want to know like yeah, I want to know why. I feel so bad for the sprites and we don't even know that much about them. So,
Yeah, they make me vain.
okay. So the last section we'll be finishing the book this time around, but predictions about this next section. My prediction is we better get to the good part. We better get to the good stuff in this last section. The burn is been slow and I'm okay. But if the burn makes me wait till the second book,
Yeah. How
I'm
could
gonna be
you?
toast. My prediction
Um,
is it better be on this one. But what do you think?
I think I'm suspicious of Benji. That's what I'm thinking.
Think we'll get some answers about Benji?
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna have to wait till book two.
Do
I
you
don't
think
know. I
we'll
just that's always how I feel whenever there's like a book that the second one hasn't come out yet. I'm always just like, just set it up to be disappointed
yeah.
so that you
We're not
don't
gonna
go
get
into
any answers.
yeah. And then I can be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, true. Very true. I think it's just supposed to be a duology though, right? It's not going to be like a long series.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. I mean, I like series, but
Yeah.
yeah, because not a lot, like 100 pages. About 100 more pages, and how many? We've still got like three more omens, right? So, do you think we're even going to finish all of the omens in this book?
I I think so. Which also, like, I feel like it is surprising that they're going through it so quickly, but then it's also not because they are just people. You know what I mean? So I guess it is and it isn't. And then, I guess, yeah, that is how easily overturned or whatever they are.
True.
I don't know.
So let's see. We've done the scribe, the oarsman, and the forester, which I think we've got a little bit left of them, it sounds like. And then we have the no, the brigand. So we've killed they've done four. So the artful brigand,
Brigand, Forester,
the
Scribe,
scribe,
and
and the
Oarsman.
oarsman. Yeah. So we have four. So we have the loomstone and the moth left, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I bet we'll get through all of them, and we'll have the big
yeah.
confrontation with the abbess at the end because she's the moth. Okay, we're farther than I thought. Okay, so next time on Read, Rant, Repeat, we're going to continue the discussion on Bride by Allie Hazelwood, covering 16 through 23 in that book. We're going to wrap up The Night and the Moth the week after that with the final chapters 24 through the end of the book. If you're following along both books, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Otherwise, tune in the following week for the final chapters of Night and the Moth. Thanks. Please like, subscribe, and tune in on Wednesdays for new episodes. And check us out on YouTube for the video of this episode if you'd care to see our faces. We want to hear from you. Join the discussion in the comments below or join the club on Patreon to engage with other members and get exclusive benefits. How are you liking the book so far? Leave your thoughts, predictions, and theories, and you just might hear them on our next episode. Thanks for listening.